Hello everyone, my name is Muhamad Dwiki Armani from Chinese Study. On this opportunity, I would share to all of you about the history of Indonesian cuisine influenced by Portuguese. Let's enjoy my video. As we know, Portugal and Indonesia had a long story in the past, starting from the expedition to the east by the Portuguese. The purpose of the Portuguese sailing the east sideward in the past was to look for spices and to spread the Christianity. However, the arrival of the Portuguese in Indonesia was not only looking for spices or spreading the Christianity, but also they have an influence on culture, especially in culinary diversity in Indonesia. Starting in the 15th century, the Portuguese, on the orders of King Manuel I, ordered an expedition to search for spice-producing areas. Then, King Manuel I ordered Vasco da Gama to lead this expedition. Beginning in 1497, from the port of Lisbon, under the leadership of Vasco da Gama, this expedition began. On his expedition, Vasco da Gama sailed through the west coast of Africa, rounded the Cape of Good Hope, and arrived in India in May 1498. Vasco da Gama were very well received upon their return to Portugal, and sent again on a second expedition to India in 1502. 2 decades later, Vasco da Gama returned to India, and then he died there in 1524 due to illness. The Portuguese made other expeditions to the east under the leadership of Alfonso de Albuquerque. In 1511, the Portuguese first landed in Indonesia, precisely in the Malacca region. Under the Portuguese control, Malacca became the busiest trading center in Asia. Mentioned in the book Suma Oriental, written by the Portuguese cleric Tome Pires. No trading center was bigger than Malacca. Malacca is also home to major commodities from all over the eastern and western world. Tome Pires says that nowhere else trade commodities so delicately and so expensively. Talking about Malacca, Malacca have its own story about their authentic dishes influenced by Portuguese. Because of the difficulty of obtaining food at that time, the Malacca people tried to save on food. They were thinking about cooking techniques for vegetables and meat to make them last longer. To process the meat, they fry it while stirring until it looks black in texture and hardens in a tightly closed cauldron with a little water. This technique in Portuguese cuisine is called bafado, or steaming. Although initially this Portuguese influence prevailed among the Christian people, in its development it spread and permeated in the Sumatra area. Bafado is similar to rendang and balado in Minang cuisine. Besides bafado, other Portuguese-style processing techniques are asado or grilling, recheado, mixing meat with spices, and buisado or boiling. We often find these such cooking techniques in Minangkabau, specialties such as rendang, gulai, and ayam bakar or grilled chicken. In 1512, Alfonso de Albuquerque sent his fleet to Maluku. The fleet stabilized a cloth trading monopoly. Cloths from eastern Indonesia are the most valuable commodity. The first fleet landed on Banda Island, Maluku. The island is a center for producing nutmeg, and nutmeg membranes are often called fuli. In Maluku, the Portuguese left their culinary influence behind, like fish cooked with limes, like a Portuguese dish called petissie. Another relic is preserving food by making pickles or vinegar. In Maluku, this kind of dish is called ikan kuah pala banda. This typical Maluku food used the basic ingredients of grouper or snapper. Various spices are used, such as pepper, nutmeg, and other types of spices. It tastes sour and collaboration with spicy taste. In 1575, the Portuguese fort in Ternate fell on the rebellion of Sultan Harun's son. Then, in 1590, they left Maluku and moved to the northern coast of Java. The arrival of the Portuguese in Java also influenced Betawi cuisine. Betawi is the origin tribes from Jakarta region. The Betawi people use a lot of kind of spices such as pepper, cloves, and nutmeg in Betawi cuisine. Not only that, there are also other influences in the form of cooking techniques with grilled and roast spice before being mixed in a cooking mixture. In Betawi cuisine, there are spices that needed to be burned during processing. The Betawi cuisine, which influenced by the Portuguese, is gado-gado. Gado-gado is kind of salad made from peanuts and spices that are roasted first, then ground into a peanut sauce that has a spicy and sweet taste. Then the peanut sauce is mixed with various types of vegetables such as bean sprouts, long beans, chayote, and cassava leaves, then all mixed together. The word gado-gado comes from the Portuguese language, which means mixed. Initially, the term was used to refer to animal feeds, which was a mixture of food scraps. In Jakarta, there's a place where we can see the strong influence by the Portuguese until this day. The place can be known as Kampung Tugu in Koja, North Jakarta. We can still see the relics of the Portuguese from the buildings, the people of Portuguese descent in there. Until now, we can still find their descendants who use Portuguese last names such as Quico, Michels, Abrahams, Browne, and many more. That's the history of Indonesian cuisine influenced by Portuguese. I hope all of you enjoy my video. Obrigada. Thank you. Terima kasih. Merci. 谢谢。